Hey guys, this is Jonathan Hickerson here. We're going to play some Legacy matches with Sneak and Show. This is probably my favorite Legacy deck right now. It's a lot of fun to play. If you haven't seen it, basically the idea is to cast Show and Tell or Sneak Attack, and then kill your opponent with one of these enormous creatures. The rest of the deck is basically just cards that support that strategy. We've got 8 counter spells, 4 Spell Pierce and 4 Force of Will, to counter anything that messes with that. 10 1-mana cantrips and 2 intuitions to find our combo pieces. And then we have 5 Sol Ring lands and 4 Lotus Petals as mana acceleration. So the main deck's pretty straightforward. I was playing 1 Misdirection as another pitch counter and only 19 lands, but I was having to keep a lot of sketchy hands or mulligan hands with bad mana. You have these 5 colorless lands, so that happens. So I cut the 5th pitch counter to play the 20th land, which is the 3rd basic island, and we'll see how that goes. The sideboard is 4 Leyline of Sanctities. I have a real love-hate relationship with this card. In the matchups where it's good, which are like Jund and Shardless Bug, it comes in against Ad Nauseam Tendrils. In those matches, if you have it in your opening hand, it's insane and it makes it very difficult to lose. If it is not in your opening hand, then it's the worst feeling in the world because you just have 4 blanks in your deck. At the Star City Games Invitational, I watched one of the top 8 matches where Philip Loren kept, I think, a 6-card hand against Jerry Thompson that had a leyline in it, and it was a very reasonable keep, and the leyline was going to make it very, very good. But then his first 2 draw steps were the 2nd and 3rd Leyline of Sanctity, so it's just like he mulliganed to 4 at that point, unless he can find a Brainstorm to put cards back with. So Leyline, I've had it in and I've had it out, and it's back in now. I feel like it's a necessary evil against the Hymn to Turok decks. Echoing Truth is against decks that bring in permanents to try to beat you. Those can range from Ensnaring Bridge and Humility to Hate Bears like Thalia, although Thalia isn't that bad. Or Gaddock T can be bad if you need to resolve Sneak Attack. Basically any permanent this comes in. If a deck is not playing black spells or blue spells, then you probably want these, because whatever their plan is against you likely depends on a permanent. Grafdigger's Cage and Surgical Extraction are for graveyard decks. I run the split because I've ran Dredge, and it seems like having varied hate cards is a good thing. You have to play around them in different ways, so giving them different things to play around is beneficial. Also, Surgical Extraction has a little bit of utility against Storm Combo. If they're trying to win with Past in Flames, it's obviously relevant. Or if they try to win with Ad Nauseam, usually they have to Infernal Tutor for it, cast Ad Nauseam, and hit another Infernal Tutor. So if you Surgical Extraction their first tutor, then that's a way to beat them. Especially if they're not running Burning Wish. If they're not running Burning Wish, Surgical Extraction is usually a very effective card against them. Grafdigger's Cage I selected instead of Tormod's Crypt or Relic of Progenitus because people are playing Tin Fins, which is a reanimation deck that uses Shallow Grave, and all of their reanimation spells are instants, so having to activate an ability like Top is something that they can just respond to with another reanimation effect, so I think the constant effect of Grafdigger's Cage is better. Red Blast comes in against decks that bring in counter spells, pretty straightforward. It also can blow up a Jace. People aren't really playing Gilded Drake these days, but if they put a Gilded Drake into play off a Show and Tell, you can kill it before it swaps and keep your fatty. These basically just come in against any Force of Will deck. It's also a hard counter for Vendilion Click, which Spell Pierce does not counter, so that's important. Through the Breach is for the Mirror. In the Mirror match, it's almost never wise to cast Show and Tell. You have to be sure they're not playing Omniscience, and usually you have to have Sneak and Show have Show and Tell putting Sneak Attack into play with both of these guys in your hand. That beats any single card they put in. If you show and tell in Gristlebrand and they put in Emrakul, you lose. If you show and tell in either and they put in Sneak Attack, you probably lose. So there's just a lot of things that can go wrong, so that's why Through the Breach comes in when you can take some show and tells out. There's also some matches where you just need more business spells, and so in those matchups, sometimes you can board these in just to go above 8 business spells. The Blue Blast is almost entirely a nod to the Mirror match. In the Mirror, Sneak Attack is shockingly easy to resolve. You can just get up to 6 mana, which plays around Spell Pierce, and then they only have 4 hard counters. So bringing in an extra one that they're not expecting can be very relevant. It's also randomly good against Burn or Goblins, which you don't run into a lot, but on Magic Online sometimes you do. This is also great against Burn, for what that's worth. So the daily events for this format fire at weird times, and sometimes they don't fire at all, so I'm just going to play some 2-mans, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if